When we're talking about student outcomes and student efficacy factors, we have basically four columns here. And this is a matrix, and you can choose among them. And we could make this more rich as well, but let's just quickly go through column one. What is the delivery model? Is it in an actually brick and mortar classroom? And if it is, what's the profile of this delivery model that differentiates it from an online home tutor? Well, it's good for many students, but it's difficult to generate language and it's difficult to address individual needs. It's a big bunch of kids together, right? For an online home tutor, it's good for many students as well, but it's easier, right, to get students to generate language. It's easier to address their individual needs. You have data, and you have the ability to send notifications and to do some automation in there regarding student interactions and interventions. What about peer classes? Well, this is where you have a group of students studying together. They need less teacher intervention. They need less teacher involvement, right? It's great for collaborative things. These students will usually talk in their native language, but they'll definitely be getting writing assignments in this case. Self-study online is difficult to motivate the kids, but it's easy to track them, right? It's easy to track their performance if they actually do the work, because oftentimes, if it's just self-study alone, I oftentimes won't even do it. This column is about hours per week and times per week, and both are important. You could have 3 hours one time a week, which is better than 1 hour one time a week, but if you have 3 times per week, it's optimal, because you have a more regular treatment of the language throughout the course of the week, and retention is much higher and progress is much faster. So you can think about these as another dynamic, as another metric to add to this one. The third one is what is the grade level. K through second grade is high energy. They need a lot of play time. They have less cognitive learning and more learn by experimentation and play. Third grade, you have different aesthetic environments than you do in 5th and 6th grade. These guys still like the cartoony stuff. These guys maybe don't so much. And in 7th to 12th grade, you're getting pretty socially sensitive. You're getting more of a testing paradigm. And of course, there are other differences as well. I just laid these out so that we could think this through in a matrix type format. Now, finally, when we're dealing with content and language integrated learning, this is actually interesting, because when you're doing the functional language, this is a prerequisite to taking any of the CLIL, almost. I mean, there's a lot of phonics and early grade ABC stuff that's actually part of your functional language learning, but you really need to get to moderate levels with your language skills before you can move into some of the academic topics. Now, when you're looking at a grammar lesson or a math lesson, the questions are often very patternistic and the same. And so these are useful in a CLIL classroom for a certain purpose. They're very repetitive, and they're useful that way to help the students remember the type of academic language that they're going to be faced with a lot, to quickly understand and respond to these type of patternistic questions and answer sets. Social science, however, these are social studies lessons. They're really great for conversation. They're full of human interest topics, and they're really good for vocabulary, and they just have a little bit different bent to their usage. And then natural science is great for developing students' descriptive skills, developing their analytic skills, and the point is that the different academic topics, they have a different utility often in a CLIL language classroom.